Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on fear itself. We're going to break down the anatomy of a truly chilling ghost story to really understand what it is that makes our blood run cold.
So what makes a ghost story unforgettable? That's a great question, right? Because it's not just about things that go bump in the night, no way. It's all about the careful, methodical craft of building dread. And for this explainer, we're going to use the short horror story, Whispers After Midnight, as our case study to see exactly how a master storyteller gets into our heads and messes with our deepest fears.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at how the stage is set, then dive into the threat itself, and finally, figure out the secret to that chill that just sticks with you long after the story's over.
All right, let's dive right in. Section 1, Crafting the Atmosphere. Look, every great horror story starts right here. This is the invisible foundation. It's what all our fear is built on. You see, the author doesn't just come out and say, "The old house is spooky." That's lazy. Instead, they make us feel its unease. The whole goal is to get our senses on high alert, right? To make us feel vulnerable and on edge before anything remotely supernatural even happens. It's all about taking something familiar and twisting it into something menacing. And look at how they do it. The story uses all these classic horror ingredients, right? You've got darkness, isolation, a flickering candle, but the real magic, the real power is in that last line. Dark figures in mourning. That's personification, and man, is it a powerful tool. The story isn't just describing the wind blowing through the trees. It's making the world outside feel hostile, like it's alive and watching. Okay, so the atmosphere is perfectly creepy. Now, the story brings in its second key element, the unseen threat. And this is just brilliant. It keeps the threat completely invisible. Instead, it goes after our most primal sense, our hearing.
Now, this timeline here is absolutely crucial. It shows this slow, methodical, patient escalation. See, the threat isn't just popping out for a jump scare. It's testing, it's probing, it's getting closer and closer. And that preys on our deepest fear of the unknown. Our own imagination has to fill in the blanks. And let's be honest, what we cook up in our own heads is almost always way scarier than any monster they could show us.
So what really elevates this story from just a simple spooky tale is that the haunting isn't just random chaos. Like all the best horror stories, it operates on a very specific and terrifying set of rules. And once you have rules, well, that's when you have real stakes. And this warning from her grandmother, delivered as a childhood memory, it's just a stroke of genius. It's not just boring backstory, you know? It's like a contract with us, the reader. We know exactly what Alina should not do. And that just cranks up the tension to an unbearable level as we have to sit and watch her get closer and closer to breaking that one spell.
Okay, and now we get to one of the most effective, most chilling psychological tricks in the entire horror playbook. Taking something that should be safe, a place of comfort, and twisting it into a weapon.
And there it is. The whisper isn't some monster's growl or a demonic hiss. No, it's the voice of her beloved grandmother, who's passed away. This makes the threat so personal, so insidious. It's not just a lure, it's a full-on emotional trap. It's literally using her own grief and her own love against her. This is why the story really gets under your skin. It attacks our most fundamental sense of security. I mean, think about it. Your childhood home, the memory of a grandparent. These are supposed to be our sanctuaries, right? So by turning them into the source of the threat, the story forces us to ask a really terrifying question. If you aren't safe there, with them, then where in the world are you ever really safe?
And all of this brings us down into the cellar, that forbidden space. This is where everything we've talked about, the atmosphere, the broken rules, that twisted sense of familiarity, it all comes together for the story's horrifying climax, the mirror's revelation. So here it is, the final, awful twist. You have the lure right next to the truth. On one side, there's everything Alina's grieving heart wants to see, and on the other, the monstrous reality that was hiding behind that mask all along. This is the exact moment the trap springs shut. And then the consequence is finally revealed, spoken in this horrible chorus of whispers. This one line confirms everything her grandmother warned her about. See, every step Alina took was a choice. And by answering that call, she didn't just invite something in, she sealed her own fate. She became part of the darkness.
But you know, a truly great horror story
It doesn't just end with a jump scare or some big final fight. The best ones, they leave an echo. And the ending of Whispers After Midnight is an absolute masterclass in that kind of unresolved dread, the kind that just sticks with you.
Just look at this progression. The horror isn't gone. It hasn't been beaten. It's simply evolved. It consumed its last victim, Alina, and is now using her as the bait for the next one. It creates this absolutely terrifying, inescapable loop. It suggests the evil in this house is ancient, patient, and it's not going anywhere. And this final line, this is what makes the ending so incredibly chilling. It's not just a spooky final sentence. It's the confirmation of our absolute worst fear. The cycle isn't just hinted at, it's shown to be starting all over again right in front of us. The story doesn't really end. We just stop watching.
And so, ultimately, the story's real lasting power lies in this question. Whispers After Midnight. It isn't really about a haunted house, is it? It's about the vulnerabilities of the human heart. It suggests that the most haunting whispers, the most dangerous ones, are the ones that sound just like what we've lost. The ones that prey on our grief and our desperate, desperate longing to hear a familiar voice just one last time. And that is a truly terrifying thought.